Imagine a global bar fight breaks out. Tables fly, chairs smash, chaos erupts. Who do you want backing you up? The guy with drones on speed dial or Belgium, politely offering waffles? In world politics, alliances are your fight crew. You need muscle, strategy, and maybe a few jets with flair. These are the 10 countries whose military alliances could turn a bar brawl into a blockbuster. Welcome to the Daily Dose of 10, where global power gets dramatic. Let's get tactical. Number 10. Australia. Australia's ANZUS alliance with the US, and historically New Zealand, remains the backbone of its defense, with ministers and military chiefs meeting annually to strategize joint operations. The alliance has modernized. In August 2024, Australia and New Zealand agreed that a major cyber attack would count as an armed attack under ANZUS, committing them to collective response. In July 2025, U.S. defense leaders urged Australia to raise its defense spending from 2% toward 3.5% of GDP to more effectively counter China, a signal of just how serious Washington sees the Indo-Pacific challenge. Australia has responded by pledging a $57 billion over the next decade, including AUKUS submarine projects and U.S. industrial collaboration. Public sentiment reflects this shift. 80% of Australians in 2025 said the U.S. alliance remains very or fairly important for national security. It's a partnership that blends fighter jets, submarines, and cyber shields, making Australia a heavyweight down under. Number 9. Japan. This continues to deepen its defense ties through the Quad, an increasingly strategic club of democracies. U.S., India, Australia, Japan, focusing on maritime security, supply chains, and tech resilience. Additionally, reciprocal access agreements now permit easier deployment of Japanese troops with the UK, signed Jan 2023, and the Philippines, ratified June 2025. The end of 2024 also saw Japan and Australia signing an RAA aimed at exercises, intelligence sharing, and even next-gen fighter collaboration. Japan played host to high-level 2+2 security dialogues with the U.S. in March 2021, a pattern of consultations now regular ahead of Quad summits. With increasing PLA activity, Taiwan's ADIZ saw 248 incursions in January alone, a 75% rise since 2022. Japan's posture is more vigilant than ever. Sun Tzu wouldn't mind. Japan's technical savvy and regional alliances make it a disciplined and effective partner. Number 8. South Korea. South Korea's defense framework is built around its 1953 Mutual Defense Treaty with the U.S., maintaining American forces on its soil as a deterrent against North Korea. In November 2023, it cemented the Downing Street Accord with the UK, expanding access for British troops, vessels, and logistics. A rare deal outside Europe. This accord enhances cooperation in technology sharing, joint exercises, and operational planning, transforming the peninsula into a high-tech security hub. South Korea also participates actively in Quad Plus dialogues and global maritime security patrols across Indo-Pacific routes. With a top 5 ranking in the 2025 Global Firepower Index, its forces are more than capable, combining tech sophistication with artillery muscle. And let's be honest, it's the friend with a bazooka who also codes your apps right, versatile and ready for anything. Number 7. France. France ranks 3rd in NATO firepower, behind only the US and UK, and is a driving force behind EU defense cooperation. At the June 2025 Hague NATO Summit, France joined Germany, Poland, the UK, and Italy in implementing aggressive new targets, spending up to 5% GDP on defense by 2035. France also pursues permanent structured cooperation under PESCO, EDF, and CARD initiatives, uniting EU nations around joint arms and troop commitments. Meanwhile, with the Indo-Pacific strategy, France deploys forces from Reunion and New Caledonia to joint exercises, Egg Malabar, showcasing its global reach. It's also brokering RA, as with India and Japan, to enable broader strategic mobility. Plus, its nuclear triad and carrier task groups ensure it stays a top-tier global actor. In short, France remains a stylish yet formidable force, like a beret-wearing commando with global swagger. Number 6. United Kingdom. The UK is NATO's second-largest military power by capability and plays a leading role in implementing the alliance's new 5% GDP target. In 2023, it signed the Reciprocal Access Agreement with Japan to enable closer defense cooperation and future jet development collaboration. The UK is also a founding member of the 5 power defense arrangements with Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, and Singapore, providing collective defense over Southeast Asia. Remixing its global role, it contributes HMS Prince of Wales and F-35s to the 2025 exercise Talisman Sabre, with 35,000 troops across 19 nations. Post-Brexit, London leverages new AUKUS links and EU defense dialogue to stay relevant. It's the global barista of alliances, rich, everywhere, and always with added steam. Number 5. India. India's defense architecture is evolving fast. Ranked 4th in global firepower, it anchors burgeoning ties within the Quad with joint naval drills such as Malabar and shared tech projects. It has formalized foundational pacts with the U.S., Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, Communications Compatibility and Security Agreement, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement unlocking logistical access, secure communications, and high-precision geospatial data sharing. In January 2025, India hosted a new Quad summit focused on Indo-Pacific deterrence and supply chain resilience, signaling deeper integration. While not a formal treaty alliance, the U.S. designation of India as a major defense partner cements this strategic bonhomie. India is boosting naval and air capabilities with U.S. military tech, countering both regional threats and Chinese PLA activity. Think of India as the underdog-turned-strategist, scrappy, rising, and always ready with a surprise move. Number 4. Russia. Russia stands as NATO's looming rival. Ranked number 2 in Global Firepower 2025, it leads the CSTO, a bloc that includes Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, promising collective defense from Central Europe to Central Asia. Moscow's defense diplomacy extends to major arms deals and strategic maneuvers with China, Iran, North Korea, and Syria. In 2024, it produced enough ammunition in just 3 months to equate to NATO's annual output, underscoring remarkable industrial capacity. Russia also modernizes with T-14 Armata tanks, S-400 missile systems, and Arctic-capable brigades. Despite sanctions, it remains a self-sufficient military force with a strategic buffer zone and geopolitical swagger. Picture Putin's Russia as the gym bully who bench presses your team, intimidating, well-prepared, and backed by heavy metal. Number 3. China. China is the rising heavyweight. Tied with Russia as number 3 in Global Firepower 2025, it steers the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, coordinating security and military exercises across Central Asia. Its defense ties include extensive arms exports and joint operations with Pakistan, Iran, Russia, and more. Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative now brings logistic support, ports, and influence in Asia, Africa, and Europe, all under a strategic dual-use security umbrella. The PLA's technological strides, hypersonic missiles, stealth fighters, carrier fleet, mirror its growing expeditionary capacity. Chinese incursions into Taiwan's Adiz, over 3,000 in 2024, have triggered regional alarm. China's alliance playbook is chess, not checkers, fortified, far-reaching, and with pawns on more than a dozen boards. Number 2. United States. America remains atop the military pyramid. With the lowest power index, 0.0744, it ranks number 1 in Global Firepower 2025. It anchors NATO, leads AUKUS, engages deeply in the Quad, and signs bilateral defense agreements from Korea to the Philippines. The 2025 Hague NATO Summit mandated NATO members raise their defense spending to 5% of GDP, spurred by U.S. leadership. The U.S. also hosts military bases in over 70 countries and leads massive joint exercises like Talisman Sabre with multiple allies. Its defense budget exceeds $800 billion, enabling unmatched R&D in AI, cyber, satellites, and quantum. It also influences global norm setting on arms control, cybersecurity, and space. With Uncle Sam in your corner, you get privileged seating at the global security table, plus a fleet, an air wing, and more. Number 1. Europe via NATO. While the United States is the linchpin, NATO's collective strength is Europe's secret weapon. Following the 2025 Hague Summit, Germany, the UK, France, Italy, and Poland pledged swift implementation of revised weapons and troop targets, raising collective spending goals and reinforcing Eastern flank defense. NATO exercises like Steadfast Defender 2024 showcased over 50 ships, 80 aircraft, and 1,100 combat vehicles in combined drills across Europe. Article 5 remains central, a guarantee that an attack on one is an attack on all, underscored once again in 2025 reformations. European EU defense mechanisms are synchronizing budgets and R&D investments, reinforcing EU strategic autonomy. Think of NATO Europe as a coalition of mid-tier champions forming an unstoppable team, deep-pocketed, coordinated, and ready to back up the US in a global encore. If this global bar fight rundown gave you a front row seat to world domination, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell harder than NATO smashes military drills. Join us for more wild rides through geopolitics, power plays, and explosive alliances, served with facts, firepower, and a wink.